Hello and welcome to our video series on the BECE 2026 Past Questions Mathematics. In this video, we are going to look at the question 2a. The question says that the image of p 2, 5 when translated by the vector r is -3, 8. Find the vector r, that is I. And then II says that find the image K prime of K, which is -4, -6 when translated by the vector r. Alright, so translation is about movement. So we have a coordinate or a point P 2, 5, and it is moved by some particular vector r. And when that coordinate P is moved by the vector r, the image becomes what? -3, 8. Okay, so this is what I mean. Assuming assuming the vector r is, let's say, a point x, y, and maybe you have the object being AB. If this AB is translated by the vector r, all it means is just add the vector r, which is xy, x on y, to AB, and that is going to give you a plus x, then b plus y. So this is just what we are supposed to do. So this becomes your P. And when P is translated or moved by a vector r, this becomes the image. So the point -3, 8 that has been given, this is what it implies. Okay, so let's look at how we can go about this particular question. So first of all, we can say that let's first write our data. So we know that our point P is 2, 5, 2 on 5, or you can write 2, 5. We don't know r, so we know that our image coordinates, our image, let's say P prime, is what? -3, 8. So what we can do here is that we can say that let r equals x on y, because we are what? Looking for r. Okay, we are looking for r. So if we make r to be x on y, then we can say that it implies that P plus r is going to give us what? Our P prime, like we did. Okay, the object plus the vector is going to give you the image. So what it means is that if I have 2 on 5 plus x on y, it is going to give me the image, which is -3 on 8. So this is what it means. Remember that the top points are called the x coordinates, and then the bottom points are called the y coordinates. So it means I can equate them. I can say that it implies that 2 plus x is equal to what? -3. So I can find x by moving the 2 to the right hand side to get -3 minus 2. This is positive. When it comes here, it becomes negative. So it implies our x is equal to -5. It also means that 5 plus y is equal to what? 8. and that implies we can find y. So meaning I have to bring my 5 to the right hand side. So I have 8 minus 5. That means my y becomes 3. So you see we have our x, y here. So this implies that the vector r is equal to what? It implies that the vector r is equal to my x is minus 5 and my y is 3. So this becomes my vector r. So first, your p is what? 2, 5, 2 on 5. Then the image when p is translated by r becomes negative 3, 8. So we let r to be some variable point, okay, or some variable vector. And we know that when that point is translated by this vector, that means p plus r, we get some particular image. The p is 2 on 5. We have let the r to be x on y. So when we do that, we are going to get negative 3 on 8. Then we equate the x coordinates, and then we equate the y coordinates. When we equate the x coordinates, we say that 2 plus x gives us negative 3. And then we simplify to find the value of x, which we got to be what? Negative 5. Then when we equate the y coordinates, that is 5 plus y to give us 8. We simplify and then we see that y is equal to 8 minus 5. And then 8 minus 5 is just 3. We remember that we said that r we are letting it to be x, y. So if we are substituting x for negative 5 and then y for 3, then this becomes the vector that translated 2, 5 to negative 3 on 8. So this is the I part of the question. Now let's look at the II part of the question. The II part says that find the image Q prime of Q, which is negative 4, negative 6, when translated by R. So let's look at that as well. So you can take a minute to write down the solution to this particular question so that we can do the II part. You can pause the video and then write it down. Alright, so now we know that our vector r is negative 5 on 3. Our vector r is negative 5 on 3. And we have an object, or we have Q, a point Q. And Q is what? Negative 4 on negative 6. And they are saying that we should find the image Q prime when this Q is translated by the vector r. So like we did in the previous, or at the I side, it means that Q plus the vector r is going to give us what? Q prime. And we don't know Q prime. So that is what we are trying to find. The Q is what? Negative 4 on negative 6. And our vector r is negative 5 on 3. So that's when we solve this, or when we translate this vector, whatever we get becomes what? Our Q prime. So that means we have negative 4 plus negative 5 on negative 6 plus 3. So now we can simplify. Negative 4 plus negative 5 is, that implies negative 4 plus negative 5 becomes negative 9. And then negative 6 plus 3 becomes negative 3. So it implies that KL prime, which is the image of KL, is -9, -3. Alright, thank you very much for watching the video. Kindly subscribe to our channel to help our channel grow, and share the video to your friends to also help them learn. See you in another video. Goodbye.